For 2 years, Lucy had devoted herself tirelessly to tending to her ailing father-in-law, Mr. Thompson. Each morning she would rise before the sun, her steps soft and deliberate, as she moved about the small, ivy-covered cottage on the outskirts of town. The cottage was quaint and quiet, its walls filled with memories of a time before illness had taken hold. Mr. Thompson, once a vigorous and lively man, had been rendered bedridden by a relentless chronic illness. His son James worked long hours at a nearby factory to support them, leaving Lucy to manage the household and provide care. The routine was demanding, but Lucy faced it with a quiet determination, her days blending into a cycle of meals, medication, and moments stolen in the garden. The garden was Lucy's sanctuary. She had cultivated it with care, planting vibrant flowers and herbs that brought bursts of colour and scent to their otherwise monochrome lives. One morning, after ensuring Mr. Thompson was comfortable and had taken his medication, Lucy stepped outside to tend to her beloved plants. As she knelt by the rose bushes, she noticed a small weathered envelope tucked under a stone by the garden gate. Her name was scrawled across the front in a familiar hand, one that made her heart leap with recognition. She opened the envelope with trembling hands and unfolded the letter inside. It was from Emily, her childhood friend. They had lost touch over the years, life's demands pulling them in different directions. Lucy's eyes welled up with tears as she read Emily's heartfelt words. "Dear Lucy," the letter began, "I hope this finds you well. I heard about your situation and wanted to reach out. I remember the strength and kindness you always had, and I want you to know that I am here for you. Please come visit me in the city whenever you can. I would love to catch up and offer any support you might need." The letter felt like a lifeline. Lucy hadn't realised how isolated she had become, how much she missed the companionship of a dear friend. The idea of visiting Emily, even for a short while, seemed almost too good to be true. That evening, Lucy shared the letter with James. Do you think it would be possible for me to visit Emily for a few days?" she asked, her voice trembling with hope and uncertainty. James looked at her, his eyes filled with understanding and concern. "Lucy, you've been carrying this burden alone for so long. I think it would do you a world of good to take a break. I'll find a way to manage here while you're gone. You deserve this." With a mix of excitement and anxiety, Lucy made arrangements for her visit. She found a trusted neighbour willing to help James look after Mr. Thompson in her absence. A week later, she boarded a train to the city, her heart pounding with anticipation. Emily met her at the station with a warm embrace. They spent the first evening catching up, talking late into the night about their lives, their struggles, and their dreams. For the first time in years, Lucy felt truly seen and heard. During her stay, Emily took Lucy around the city, showing her the vibrant life that thrived beyond the confines of her small cottage. They visited art galleries, strolled through bustling markets, and enjoyed quiet moments in cosy cafes. Emily's support and encouragement reminded Lucy of the importance of nurturing her own well-being. One afternoon, as they sat in a sunlit park, Emily broached a subject that had been on Lucy's mind. "Lucy, have you thought about getting some help for Mr. Thompson's care? You don't have to do this alone." Lucy sighed, her gaze drifting to a group of children playing nearby. "I've thought about it, but I didn't know if it was possible. I didn't want to burden James or neglect my responsibilities." "Taking care of yourself isn't neglect," Emily said gently. "It's necessary. You can't pour from an empty cup." When Lucy returned to the cottage, she felt rejuvenated and resolved. She and James had a heartfelt discussion about their options. They decided to hire a part-time nurse to assist with Mr. Thompson's care, which would allow Lucy some much-needed time for herself. The change was almost immediate. With the nurse's help, Lucy found she had more energy and a brighter outlook. She reconnected with old friends, joined a local book club, and even started painting again, a hobby she had abandoned years ago. Mr. Thompson noticed the difference too. "You look different, dear," he remarked one morning as she helped him to his chair by the window. "Happier." "I feel different," Lucy replied with a smile. "I've learned that taking care of myself helps me to take better care of you." Life in the small cottage took on a new rhythm. The burdens of caregiving were still present, but they were no longer overwhelming. Lucy, James, and Mr. Thompson found a new balance, one that allowed them to support each other and find joy in the little moments. Lucy continued to correspond with Emily, their friendship rekindled and stronger than ever. The letters were a constant reminder of the importance of connection and self-care. And so the days passed with a renewed sense of hope and resilience. The garden flourished under Lucy's care, a symbol of the life and love that thrived within the cottage walls. Together they navigated the challenges, finding strength in their bond and solace in the beauty of their shared lives. For 2 years, Lucy has dedicated herself to caring for her ailing father-in-law, Mr. Thompson, in a quiet cottage on the outskirts of town. Overwhelmed by the demands of caregiving and feeling isolated, Lucy's life changes when she receives a heartfelt letter from her childhood friend, Emily. Encouraged to take a much-needed break, Lucy visits Emily in the city, where she rediscovers the importance of self-care and connection. Upon her return, Lucy and her husband, James, find a new balance with the help of a part-time nurse, allowing them to support each other and find joy in life's little moments. Rediscovering Hope, Lucy's journey of care and renewal, is a heartwarming story of resilience, friendship, and the transformative power of taking care of oneself.